Yo, woulda, coulda, shoulda, brothers always talking nonsense, smoking and drinking to deal with their problems. I'm not one for excuses. Them man complain that they broke and they can't afford you shit. If you don't wanna 9 to 5, then pick up a Z, then peps and grind to Shankar. Life's too short not to live it up. Steak for breakfast, yeah, we have to grill it up. Tight boom boom, yeah, we have to fill it up. Jump in the German, boom boom, riv it up. Empire, yeah, we have to build it up. I'm grafting while you're in your yard chilling up. The worst thing is I know you hate it when my bros progress is motivation. This flow's amazing, shit pro, you're blazing, my hoes your main thing. Got my friends, got my foes. Had my highs.
Hello guys and welcome to Fool's Paradise. My name's Sylvia and I am the director, writer and producer and creator behind Fool's Paradise, and today we're going to be interviewing my beautiful cast. I'm really excited about today's show because it's a long time coming in the making, should I say. So today we have got the lovely Rashid Matabaro and the wonderful Pierre Wilson Cox.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so where do we start? So I'm going to start with you, Rashid. Yeah. How did you hear about the project?
Well, being that you're my sister and everything, and you wrote the whole thing up, I was quite skeptical about how to go about it, to be fair, because obviously people's going to look at, oh, it's your brother, obviously he's going to get a role, but I still had to find something that was suitable also.
But why did this project come up?
Well, we looked at everything that was out in the industry, for example, and you felt the need to be like, I've got stuff in my head that I could put out there that's just as good or if not better. So you took the chance on it, brainstormed on it, and went for it, to be honest.
And might I add, the fact that my brother's an actor, I just felt creatively together, he doing the acting, me coming from a theatre background, it would work, basically. Okay, moving on to Pierre. How did you hear about the project?
I heard about it through Rash, to be honest, because we had worked on a previous project before, and we always maintained contact, and he shouted at me and he was like, "Oh, Pierre, I think there's a role for you here, would you be interested?" And I was like, yeah, definitely, do you know what I mean? And then one thing led to another, went for the audition with you guys, and
and
the rest is history.
And how was the audition for you, you feel?
I thought the audition was good, because I think the role that I've got now with Kane, I didn't actually go for that role. I went for another role. And
what role was that again?
I think I went for Sneaky's role initially.
Yes.
Yeah, I went for Sneaky's role.
It was for Sneaky
because you had already casted somebody before.
Yeah.
But when I was doing the audition, I was playing Kane's role.
Yes,
Right.
right.
Do you know what I mean? So I really resonated with Kane to a certain degree, and I actually wanted it, but it didn't happen. Then I got a phone call from you, and you said, you know what, we need to recast because Kane's dropped out, and I was like, cool.
Yeah, and see how life works.
The universe is crazy.
So I remember that still. Cool. Moving on. So what was the process in you guys, or Rashid first, you developing your character? What was that like? What was the journey for you for that?
It was a bit challenging because where I'm a father and I play father in this, the difference is I've got to be a person who's lost their daughter, so I'm battling. So you got to try and do some research to find out what it's like to even have even a small amount of what that's like.
Can you give us a little insight about your character for those that might not know?
Okay.
When you say...
I feel like Darren, my character that I play, is a complicated character.
Yeah.
Like he's caught up in a lot of decision makings where he's torn. For example, he's trying to be the good guy for his mum, and his sister. Plus he's trying to do the whole father thing. And on top of that, he's also trying to better himself and not get caught up in the roles, because he's had these little spells.
Right, so your character comes across someone that is torn, basically, between two lives.
Different,
and trying to be a father. So what was the challenge that you faced trying to kind of internalise that? Like, what did you do?
I had to do my research more than anything.
Okay.
So I tapped into people that I knew, because I do know people in certain circumstances. And you just ask questions just to get a feel for where they are mentally. And you try and adapt and take on some notes and try and incorporate it, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. Same question to you. How did you...
So I thought Kane was quite complicated as well, I would say, because I had to kind of dig deep, and also use my environment for that sort of character. Like I grew up in Kilburn, so I've always been around certain situations, And that helped, even just reaching out to certain people and just saying, what do you think about this character, or how he would go about certain things. Just to give you a little insight, so Kane gets involved with certain things, illegal activities, but I always feel
when
that
you say illegal activities, he's a shopper.
yeah, he's trapping.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's trapping, but I feel like he's a sort of a 1 foot in, 1 foot out sort of guy, because half of him he's in, and half of him he wants to do better. He wants to go legit eventually.
Yeah.
But I think and he gets himself into a sticky situation where he can't actually handle it. You can't handle the heat that comes with the roads.
Yeah.
And I feel like this season you see the transition from the first season.
Yes.
And I see the transition of a bit more of a softer side. You see a bit more of I don't know. It expands on it. You know what I mean? You see a bit more of his personal life, and his relationships with other people. But yeah, for this character, I had to do a lot of rehearsals, intense rehearsals, to be fair, to really get into the mindset of what Kane was going through.
So there was
and the conflict that he goes through as well internally.
This question's for both of you. I wanted to find out, do you feel like season 1, because obviously we're talking about season 2, which is coming out soon, do you feel like in season 1, in your training, when we was going through rehearsal process, etc., you was finding your characters, but in season 2, do you feel like you established your characters, or do you can go first?
I felt in season 2, I digged a bit deeper, with the help with the cast members as well, because I feel the whole preparation regarding it was completely different. So we had the whole rehearsals that we had as a whole group, and it was good because it was like you got feedback from everyone. So some people even gave you some ideas that you might not have been thinking about. And it was gems. It was like gems. There was a lot of gems in the room. I felt that I picked up from people.
Can you just explain a little bit about what was the rehearsal process like?
So,
what did we do?
So for example, we did things like the hot seats, where you're just improvising based on the notes you already know about your character, for example, and trying to find how far you can take that character. So it's like you find your pros and your cons. So sometimes you might make some mistakes, but you think, okay, that's not going to work for your character. It's not realistic. That gets taken away. So you learn things also.
Okay, yeah.
See, I find it's kind of different, or it's a contrast to Rashid. I feel like the first season I put a lot of pressure on myself. A lot of pressure.
I agree.
For it being my main lead, my first lead character, I think I put a lot of pressure on myself.
Yeah.
Second season, for me, it was a lot more effortless. I established the character. It was a lot more, in my mind, I was just a lot more
relaxed,
free and relaxed. And that's what I felt, and maybe it was conveyed when you guys see it, it might be conveyed to them. Can I
just add to that? Because like, for me, I saw the difference from season 1. Your transition, for me, there was a real transition from season 1 to season 2. I felt like you said you put a lot more pressure on yourself. I felt like in season 2, you had arrived.
Yeah, I agree still. I agree. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. And I suppose going back to what you were saying about the rehearsals, I think this season's rehearsal sessions were really good as well. Going back to what Rashid was saying, we had an input from the rest of the cast, so everyone got to have their influence on the overall outcome of it. And I think, the whole experience was enjoyable.
Amazing. I'm gonna just wrap this up with the last question, and the question is like a memorable moment. So in terms of working overall with production and crew, what was a memorable moment for you, would you say?
There's loads.
Rashid first.
You know what? I think the relationship between the production and the cast for me, I think you don't really get that good chemistry on a lot of sets. And I think that helped a lot. And I feel that it will show on screen as well.
Nice. Pia?
Memorable moment. We've had so many moments. I feel like there's an abundance of talent within the whole cast. You've got musicians.
Yeah.
You've got actors. I think the whole, as I said before, the whole experience was enjoyable. But to narrow it down to one,
be hard.
I think the one would be when we were in rehearsal, and Nee came and saw us for the first time, and I think we all smashed it. All members of the cast were there, and we all literally killed it. And I think that kind of convinced me, and I think that would be the memorable moment because everyone went in and did their thing.
And that was the moment
I think,
we
yeah,
nailed our
100%,
director.
yeah.
And you know, that moment was amazing,
Yeah.
to be honest, because Nee was blown away from everyone's
Yeah.
performance. So, Pierre, what I was going to ask you was, what was the difference between season 1, do you think, to season 2?
I think season 1 was just like a brief insight into a couple of characters. It was just touching the surface. In season 2, we actually dig deeper into, especially for Kane and Darren's. We actually see the relationships with other people.
Excellent.
For example, family members or partners and stuff like that. So we dig a lot deeper and we explore a lot further all the lead characters.
I agree. Like, so bearing in mind, season 1 was more like an introduction to all the characters.
Yeah.
And it was only 3 episodes, whereas season 2 is 7 episodes, heavy, impactful episodes. So yeah, I agree. And you know, well done, guys. You got done good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming down, and let's keep it moving.
Come on, I told you the food's proper.
Proper things, man.
Yo, what on, man?
Can you give us man a minute?
Cool, bro.
What on?
So you ain't got nothing to tell me?
Like what?
Like this?
Look, this is gonna sound stupid, but this isn't what it looks like, bro.
Hi guys, and now I'm going to introduce you to my next characters of Force Paradise. Rochelle Watson and Big Sick. Hey! Hey!
Your favourite couple.
Yeah, my favourite couple. Yeah, you got
Your favourite couple, remember?
Couple on set, man. Now there's so much questions I want to ask, and I'm going to ask you these questions, but there's so much things I want to say as well within our talk right now. But the first thing I'm going to say to you, Rochelle, is where did you hear about the project?
I actually heard about it through K9. So K9's a character that's on Fool's Paradise as well. And he said that you'd been struggling to find somebody to play that character.
And that's what I wanted to expand on. Right, so basically, during casting, I wanted to find someone that I felt would suit Big Sick's character, which is, what's your character's name? CJ?
Yeah.
Yeah? And
Big CJ.
Big CJ.
No, I'm joking.
And it took
CJ.
about 3 months.
Need to find someone.
After casting, after auditions, literally to the point of when we began rehearsals. That's when we found you. So yeah.
I know you had a specific kind of look
and chemistry.
Yeah.
You just had to fit him.
Like a match.
It had to match. Yeah. But yeah, go on. Sorry.
So yeah, it was interesting for me because I've never had any experience with acting.
And that was another thing. You
Yeah.
never acted before in your life. But as soon as I saw you, I said, no, yes, perfect, she's the one. And you came down to rehearsals and you done really good.
Well, I felt like you directed me. You definitely gave me a lot of kind of encouragement, and I felt very motivated by you. So I have to say thank you, Sylvia, because you gave me the opportunity. You saw something in me that nobody else has seen. And yeah, I just want to say thank you for that.
But
Please don't, because I'll cry with you.
Yeah, I know. No, seriously, it's been a journey, and you know, your commitment, you came and you just executed, and the whole team and cast helped with that. So moving on with Big Sick, can you let us know how did you find out about the project?
Okay, yeah. I found out from Rash, who I was previously in another project with at the beginning, and I think it was when we had after we had, I think, what's the thing called what you did at the end when you show it?
Is it screening?
The screening for the last project.
Okay, yeah,
is where I met you.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we all spoke.
Yeah.
So that's how it came on.
Funny with because initially when Rash brought you to my attention, it was for J Money's role.
Oh.
Funny enough. But when I saw him and I said, no, he's not a J Money. He's not a J Money. And then eventually, obviously J Money was, you know, we casted J Money, who unfortunately can't be here today.
Who plays that role really well as well.
Really
My
well.
older.
Yeah, you're older. And I just, do you know what? I thought, yes, let him play his older. Do you know what I mean? His sidekick. And the chemistry with you two was amazing. Like you couldn't even work it out. Like dress this up, I can't even think of a word to say what I want to say. But you lot really worked well together.
Yeah, we did get along well.
And I feel like as actors, and when you're doing casting in any kind of film that you're doing, you know, this is why casting can be very difficult, because it's all about chemistry. Because you can put two people together and it doesn't gel on screen. It doesn't work. It hasn't got that flow, and it works really well. Same like you both characters did.
No, definitely.
So what was the process, Rochelle, in terms of trying to find your character?
So Nadine is a complete different character to who I am as a person. And I spent a lot of time kind of rehearsing with
Nia.
KOD.
Is it Nia?
It's Nia, not Nadine.
My bad. Sorry, it's Nia.
I know, I followed you and I thought, ooh.
I know, and I thought, no.
No, her real name's Nadine, but we call her Nia for short.
There we go.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Come through, Nia.
Yeah. So I spent a lot of time rehearsing with Big Sick and also with my on-set brother, Rashid. And I felt like, because Rashid has actually done acting before, he gave me a lot of like tools and techniques that I could use. And the same with Big Sick, because he was like, all right, you need to do more, and you. Yeah. So I felt like those rehearsal spaces were really good.
And I felt like we really pushed you. I felt that. I
definitely.
felt that we really was, everyone kind of supported your journey, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Big Sick?
No, the same really, just like coming to rehearsals, then everybody having an input in my own character. So everyone's coaching on top of that. I'm doing it at home, I'm doing further research, speaking to this person, speaking to that person, watching movies, trying to imitate certain characters and stuff like that. And I felt like that's how my character was evolved.
Do you feel like there was any challenges what were the challenges for you, do you feel, within this production as a whole? Was there any challenges that you felt like you went through?
I feel like the challenge for my character was being able to differentiate the emotional changes between CJ and the boys, and then CJ and his girl. So like being able to switch it up. So with these people, I'm a completely different person, but when I'm with my girl, it's a whole nother complete different person. Do you know what I mean?
Guys, honestly, you lot are gonna really like their scenes together. It was. I felt like it was so important. Because when I see other web series and films that are out there, they don't really, they show the roadman, but we don't really get to see the backdrop, the story behind that roadman. Who's his woman? What's the relationship like with this woman? You know, so I wanted to show that. And, you know, it was nice to see the contrast between your roadman mentality, even though I felt you was a bit with your girl still.
Sometimes, it's a bit much.
Sometimes.
But I think towards the end, when certain revelations unravelled for your character's journey, we saw a softer CJ for sure.
Definitely.
Could you relate to any of those characters?
For me, I felt that Nia was completely different to who I am as a person. But I can relate in terms of, you know, we've kind of grown up in the same environment, really. We've come from the same kind of background. So, and, you know, just having a lot of friends that are in that type of lifestyle, I do understand Nia's point of view from that perspective.
No, I can't relate.
You can't relate to CJ's character at all?
No.
What I also wanted to ask you with that was, what do you think the overall message, what was Forced Paradise trying to say to its audience, you think?
I'm going to let you answer this one.
Okay, like you could tell from the title itself, it's called Forced Paradise. So it's showing you, instead of, when you watch certain movies, it's like you're just seeing the glitz and the glamours of things, and you're getting excited about this person's lifestyle and the choices that they've made.
Yeah.
But then you're actually seeing the nitty-gritty part of things, and you're seeing how certain things, like when they say the grass is not green on the other side, you're actually seeing that. Do you know what I mean? Not everything that glitz. What's that saying?
Not
Not
everything that glitters is gold.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the one. So I think that's what you're seeing.
Yeah.
And it's just important to see, obviously, you know, from a female's perspective, a lot of young females do aspire to have boyfriends that are in that lifestyle. They do aspire to have the money that comes with it, the power of a lifestyle, everything. But it's really important to see the other aspects and how it affects your life. It affects even my family in Fool's Paradise. It affects my mum, it affects my brother. So it's just important for you to kind of take away all those different aspects.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. So another thing I just wanted to quickly bring up before we wrap up was the fact that Vixit is a rapper, for those of you who don't know, and he has basically done a soundtrack. He's part of our soundtrack. He's got a track on our soundtrack. He's got a track on our soundtrack called
Standard.
Standard, which he will be performing later. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of put that out there as well. So thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
J Money knows everything. Things are really bad, Neil.
Knows everything how?
He knows that Darren's your brother. He knows that I lied about knowing him. Like, this is really gonna fuck up our business and our friendship.
You already know how I feel about J Money. You're right, this is probably a game changer for you guys in your relationship, but you know how these things go.
You just don't get it. Trust is completely broken. And I can't see J Money letting this shit go.
Can't you see, CJ? Nothing good comes from this. This lifestyle. It always turns out bad, every single time.
Yeah, I know. Like, the only thing I care about right now is just you and this baby.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be speaking to Joyce and her children, Darren and Nia. So I'm just going to really try and focus on the mum. Hi, Abena.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm fantastic.
How did you hear about the project?
I heard about the project through Sylvia, yourself. You contacted me, I think years ago we met. We were both doing placements. You were doing your drama degree.
Working at what theatre company? Citizen.
I was working at Kabul Citizens. You were working for the National Youth Theatre.
Yeah.
And we were doing a project together.
That's right.
So we're doing our placements and that's how we met and we've kept in contact ever since.
Yeah.
Which is the name of the game in this business.
Yes, that's right.
Networking and keeping your contacts up. So, and then Sylvia contacted me, said she was writing this web series and said, would I like to be in it? And I was like, okay, cool. Let's
And
go.
here she is today. Tell me a little bit about your character.
My character is Joyce and she is the mother to Darren and Nia. And she's like an honest, hard-working woman. She's a single mother. She comes from Ghana and she works hard and she just wants the best for her children and she's trying to set them on the right path. But they don't like to listen. They like to do their own thing.
We do try it.
What would you say was the challenge? What challenges did you face playing this character, do you feel?
One of the biggest challenges I faced was that I was doing an accent and I was just scared of YouTube warriors coming to cuss me and saying what she's saying, you know. So that was one thing.
She's done quite well.
Thank you, I hope so. And it's subjective, you know,
True.
to hear West African or Ghanaian. Or some people say, oh, she sounds Nigerian, some people say she sounds Ghanaian. But
Okay.
I was just sounded like what I sounded like. But I hope I did it justice. And also, I'm not a mother of a grown man, you know, but I'm a big sister.
Yeah.
So, and when you're African, you're a big sister, you're basically the mum.
Exactly.
So I just drew on that and loads of bars from my mum when she's cussing us. They were coming through in the character, you know. So that was a good thing. But the challenges was just to try and make the character authentic
Yeah.
and not caricature. You know, because people, when you do an accent, sometimes it can become caricature and just unrealistic. So
What did you like about the story?
what I liked about the story was I thought it reflected real people. And I think when you see, when people look at these types of subjects, they may not be in that world. So it's just a fantasy of what they think it is, stereotypes. Well, actually, you get to see, yes, some of the characters were road, but you actually got to see that they were human as well.
Yeah.
And you got to see them be happy, be sad, be emotional, be vulnerable. And I don't think you always see these type of characters on screen being vulnerable. So that's what I really like.
Like, these questions is for Rashid and Rochelle. Playing, having a mum as in character, how was that for you guys? Would you say, in terms of the story that you had, your relationship with her?
Well, being the fact that I've got on her background in myself, like, certain things she used to say to me, I used to find it very, it hit home. Let's just say that. So it's time I'm catching myself thinking, oh my God, this is actually crazy, but it was good. It shows that obviously what she was doing was believable for me personally. So it was good.
See, I got on really well with Abina and...
please, it's Abina.
Abina. Sorry, I'm actually Caribbean, so that's why my accent doesn't come out very well. But I got on really well, and I felt that sometimes, because we got on so well, when she was shouting at me, I wanted to laugh. I wanted to laugh, but at the same time, it was a really, really good experience. And where she's such an experienced actress, she gave me a lot of tips to help us with our scenes, so it was really good.
So this is an overall question for all three of you in terms of what would you say, what was the positive, I guess, working with your team? Like, was there any challenges in terms of the way the rehearsals were structured? Have any of you worked in that environment or that setting before?
I feel usually when you work on a film set, you get your script and you come on, you might get one quick line run and then you like straight to roll film. Where with us, I felt like, also because I had a bit of theatre background, we worked more as a theatre company. So we rehearsed, we hot seated, we workshopped, we got to know each other very well. And then also we became a company, became a family. So the chemistry was visible on screen as well. And I think it made it much more easier. And not all the actors were at the same level. We had like beginners, novices, also like experience. So in that we could encourage each other. You know, you do a scene and your scene was amazing. Everyone's coming up to you saying, "Oh my God, that was really good." You know, to encourage people. And also just we had a level of respect for everybody as well. And I think that's really important when you're working as a company.
That's really good.
It's like a Fool's Paradise family, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Bling, bling. Yeah, so that's it really, I think. And I think, is there like, what would you take away from this moment? Because Abina, you've been in season 1 and 2, so again, what was the difference for you, I guess?
In season 2, I feel like we leveled up everybody from rehearsals to acting to just the crew, and we had new members on board. Like we had a producer where we didn't have that before. Yeah. So you know when you're first starting, it's like you would do almost in everything.
Yes.
And then actually you could actually concentrate on the directing, the creative side. So I think, and then our wonderful new producer Layla, you know, could concentrate on the logistics and stuff, which helped making sure that we were on time. Quiet on set. Yeah.
We needed that.
Not getting lost.
We needed that
because we chat too much. Yeah. But it's because we're a family, we're having so much fun. Yeah. So that was quite good. So, but just things like that, and everybody just stepped up their game really.
Nice. One memorable moment.
For me, it's gonna be rehearsals again, due to the fact.
Please put your hand down. I'm still mum.
But you know what it is for me, like. Obviously, you wrote the script, and most places people are stuck with whatever they're given. You're like, you can't change nothing. This is
we got to
change. And you gave us the freedom to be like, okay, maybe we'll just tweak this and add this, or and I feel that all came in those moments. They were banging for me personally. They were banging.
Yeah. Highlight for me was doing the scene with Rash and Big Sick. For the first time we got it right. That was the highlight for me because we rehearsed that quite a few times.
And that is such a good scene.
It was so difficult to get that energy out there, but once we got it right and in the rehearsal space and you was like, that's it. That was just the best feeling ever. So.
I loved all the scenes where I was telling Rash off when I was cussing him. I had the power. I loved it.
It was like in all scenes, like season 1, season 2, it was constantly
I'm just getting batted up
turning off your son.
You know what? People messaged me with like, Why are you always telling off that handsome young man?
You got fans. Your fans were, you know, they were sticking up for you.
See, man, not that bad, I'm like.
Yeah,
there you
clearly
go.
not.
You know, yeah. So I think that's about it, really. You know, I'm really looking forward to sharing Fool's Paradise with you guys. You know, so
We can't wait to see it.
Well,
My gosh, Joyce. The whole family is a crisis. It's not a family that you mess around with. My gosh. How do you know? Who told you?
Nia's boyfriend was also there. And now Darren and Kane both know. I'm scared of what they will do.
Gosh. This is serious. And it's not worth us losing our son's life over.
I don't even know what to do. Do we call the pastor or the police?
No.
Yes. Let's call the police.
No. No police. We keep this between ourselves. I need to speak to Kane. I need to speak to my son.
welcome back. Welcome back. So basically, here we have the villains of Fool's Paradise. These guys are villains, yeah? Now, these are my people. I love everyone that's sitting on this sofa right now. These are all my babies, man, because they helped make for Fool's Paradise. So starting with character Sneaky, but his real name is Jonathan Hewitt. Tell me a little bit about your relationship we have and to the project.
Okay, relationship goes back from when I was 15.
Don't give my age away,
yeah.
guys. Take it easy, man.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
But yeah, we go back a long way from when I was in my teens, and yeah, from then you've sort of been my mentor ever since. Kind of, you know, we've done so many little projects over the years coming up, and yeah, you've just helped me along the way. To be fair, you've always had an eye for good talent. You've always had a goal or a dream of writing scripts, and I'm just happy that from when you spoke all them years ago of what you wanted to do, you finally achieved it. And I'm one of the people that can say you done it.
And I
you know?
feel so honoured that
So, yeah.
you're part of Fool's Paradise. Like, seriously, Jonathan, your contribution has been amazing, you know, and when you watch Fool's Paradise, you'll see what I'm talking about. So, yeah, our relationship goes way back, and I definitely... What happened? I reached out to you, I think so when I started, I reached out to you to play the character Sneaky. So what was that like for you in terms of... Because we've done a lot of theatre work. So this is the first film
for sure,
we've worked together now. You know, we're so used to doing live performances and that, so film is a new area for me. So yeah, so what was that like for you?
It was kind of crazy, to be fair, because when you reached out, I sort of took a break.
Yeah.
So just family life, you know, life in general. So yeah, I was sort of not focused on acting or doing any theatre work. So when you reached out, I was like, cool, let's go. You know, I've always been one just to, you know, I've always been an actor, you know me. Yeah, the energy's high.
Yeah.
So I just thought, yeah, do you know what? I got the time, why not? And I just jumped in. You told me what it was. You told me that I was still need to come and rehearse. You told me that I still need to come and still need to see if that I'm suitable for the role. So I did all those stuff, and then you knew what time it was. But yeah, so it was cool.
So can you tell us a little bit about your character?
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit. Well, you gotta be. My character's like a bad man. But and obviously the name says it all. My name is Sneaky. But also what you'll see is that he's a very smart guy, and he's got some loyal soldiers behind him, and they're also smart guys. That makes for a great story. I'm not going to give away too much.
I agree. Moving on to Emmanuel. How did you hear about Fool's Paradise, and what was your reaction to joining the cast? Because you came quite late into the cast.
Well, basically, it was for obviously Jordan over there.
Yeah.
He,
And who's Jordan? Who's Jordan to you?
He's Jordan to me. Oh,
Real life or the set? Real life for the set.
No, like,
He's your what?
The set
Friend.
for the set.
Is he your friend? He's your co-worker? What is he? What is Jordan to you?
he's all of that, man. Like,
He's your
yeah,
best
my
friend. One
guy.
of your best friends, yeah.
Yeah, he's my guy.
Your brother.
So.
Okay, cool. Go on. What happened?
But yeah, he hit me up saying that he was gonna be in another short film. Obviously, we film drawing now and stuff. But then it wasn't really like, how do I say it? It wasn't really our main focus.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But obviously, if it was coming in, we'd do it. He got the call up.
Yeah.
And then one day, we had to come and meet you in like a little like archery,
Calf.
some
Yeah.
calf. And then I tagged along and that came, and then so it's just like, yeah.
And what was it like in terms of your character, like trying to get you into the character? What was that like for you?
No, that was easy. Cause like, he's smart. Like it's easy to play someone who's like innocent.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, sound
When you
vague
say
saying
innocent,
it.
break that
Like-
shit down, man.
I don't know, sound vague saying it,
Innocent, like what are you saying?
Like obviously, like because I'm like with me, I'm like a observant kind of like quiet guy.
Yeah.
So like it's just like
That's right.
in my nature to act like how Isaac acted. Yeah, but you're gonna see it soon. Like,
Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
get out too much, but yeah.
Okay. And what would you say? What was a memorable moment for you? I guess.
Memorable moment.
Yeah. What would you say a memorable moment? Working. What is it like? I don't know. Have you ever worked in this capacity? Like, have you worked in this kind of settings before? You know, with a cast, rehearsals, and so forth. Have you worked in that kind of settings before? If have, like, what was your memorable moment? Would you say?
Yeah, no, like, obviously I've worked in like casts before and that, so like this was like it's just like a nice feeling to be on set doing something that you like.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, just being productive for the day and stuff. But like the cast, like, yeah, I've got love for the cast still, like, they're good people and that, you get me, like, yeah, the calm still.
Okay. Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan, how did you hear about the project?
So
So your character's Leon.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't say, so Isaac's your character,
Yeah.
Sneaky, and then we've
Leon.
got Leon.
So yeah, I was actually working on another short film with Rash, and he had hit me up after we had finished shooting and stuff. He was like, "Yo, like, my sister's doing her own project and stuff." Like, he told me to check it out. I watched a bit on YouTube, the first series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he said, "Yo, what do you think about getting involved in the next and that?" So I was like, "Yeah, I'm down on that." And then I think me and you got in contact.
Yeah.
And like you man
Well,
said,
Dwayne, because Dwayne was the one that told me as well. Is it
I think no, Dwayne DM'd me as well, and
Okay,
also because he
okay.
played my dad in this other
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
He hit me up and was like, "Yeah, what did Rash shout you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
bro, I'm in that too. Get involved." Da, 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 da,
Yeah.
da. And at the time, like you man said, we wasn't like acting wasn't something we were both doing, but it was something we just started and really enjoyed.
Okay.
So it was taking what came and stuff, and it was a good opportunity. So I thought, why not?
Do you know what I liked about Jordan, yeah, right? When I hit Jordan up, he was like, yeah, I've got this other mate, my other friend, Emmanuel, like, me and him do things together. Yes? He emphasised together. And I was like, okay, I didn't really plan on to, but okay, you know. I thought, why not, you know? And I'm really happy that he did. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because two of you together,
Energy.
the energy was
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
right
Definitely.
for the production and that. So, what did you find any challenges? What was the challenges during production or rehearsal? Would you say?
I wouldn't really say we had much challenges due to like everyone working together so well, all the support and motivation. It was just kind of like fluid, you know what I'm saying? It was pretty simple.
Okay, can you tell us a bit about your character?
Without giving away too much.
Yeah, what would you say
Just say
Leon's character is?
I'm the game changer.
The game changer. I like. Okay, game changer it is. And you also rap as well.
No, my friend Sweets does that.
Is that your stage name, Sweets? Yeah.
No, not me. That's a friend of mine.
A friend of yours.
You know who he is, but.
Okay. I'll leave it there then. I'll leave it there. So thank you for guys for coming down. I really appreciate it, and I really look forward to sharing Forced Paradise with you. Yay!
I told you I got you, man.
I hear you, but what's this you telling me about my man being a snake, though?
Yeah, man, see CJ and Darren chatting, G. Hey, he's telling, bro.
What's all this?
Lie. You just left my man with CJ and that's still like.
Yeah.
That bridge is burnt, G. Shame.
Yeah? No, reason. We'll look into that one still. Them man are weak anyway right now. So that's all good. But you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna hit them when they're weak. Yeah. So you man keep your phones local. Yeah? I'll soon page you and we'll go ride that still. Say no, man.
This is going to be interesting. So I'm joined by Nee, who's also a director for Forced Paradise, and also Layla, who is a producer for Forced Paradise. So it's great to have you guys both here to interview you. Just ask you some questions about being behind the scenes. So Nee, I'm going to start with you, because you was a bit of a big character behind the scenes amongst the actors, in particular the ladies. So, I want to kind of ask you, because I know even when I was acting, it was my first experience acting, and you kind of gave us a lot of guidance. So how do you get what you want out of your actors and actresses?
So the way I came up, so the way I joined the production was when I initially attended a rehearsal. And at that point, I think the series had been in rehearsals for at least a couple of months.
Yeah.
So all the characters were very much in sync. So the actors all knew their lines. I didn't see a single script, anywhere. Okay. And that kind of felt like me joining a long-running production, if you will. And so by the time we then got on set, I had the only script to set. Yeah, my script was littered with my notes. But in saying that, so even though actors were pretty much as prepped as possible, I still felt the need to get certain adjustments out of them on set. And my process is, I'm typically very subtle in the way I direct actors, especially actors that had gone through so much workshopping on this, and they knew the material like inside out, like sometimes like more than I did even. So my strategy, like pretty much, and this is my secret really is, so I get friendly with the guys, I find things we have in common, and the women I flirt with them.
He does, yes, he does.
Which is an excuse,
vouch
really.
for that.
But like it's all very innocent. Yeah. Doesn't go offset, nothing inappropriate. I do flattery a lot because
flattery works well.
Of course it does, yeah. And it's also important to get actors, be it male or female, out of their shell and out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. So Layla, I know you wasn't part of season 1. So how did it come about that you came in as a producer for season 2?
Well, first off, just got to be extremely thankful for Camille at WAC, because me and Sylvia actually met in our younger days when we was at...
Not that long ago.
And Sylvia was at Central. I was at WAC studying drama. Sylvia was my mentor. So we proper went back, and Sylvia actually contacted WAC to say, listen, season 1 has not gone the way that I planned. I need a new crew. I need to get some fresh people on board. But she wanted people that, that she's gone through sort of like life with or in the past, and give opportunities. Sylvia's all about giving opportunities. So Camille turned around and said, have you not seen Lila? Like, Lila's actually doing behind the scenes stuff now, because Sylvia only knew me as an actor. And Sylvia gave me a call. Really happy to hear from her. I was like, Sylvia! I was like, oh my God, it's been years. And she was like, do you know what? I'm working on something, It's False Paradise. Season 1's on Link Up. Have a look at it. And let me know what you think. Like, I'm really looking for a new crew. Had a look, and honestly, like, despite the fact that you know, there was a couple of issues with just the framing. Sylvia explained everything, what happened behind the scenes. But despite all of that, you really saw the potential that it had. And as the episodes went along, like Nee said, you actually become invested in the characters. You actually really get into their journeys and who they are. And when we discussed season 2 and we did the read through and we was really looking at all the subject matters that actually Sylvia was speaking of, and what really attracted me to the project was the fact that it was about men going in from childhood to manhood, but actually showing that struggle of, you know, the loyalty that you have to the friends, the family that you've created outside of your family, depending on whatever circumstances that you're from, to then actually coming into adulthood. How do you transition? I now have a child myself, so are my loyalties with my child or with my friends? You really see that turmoil, and that's what really attracted me to this project more than any of the other projects that I've seen.
It's fantastic. So what do you think has been the most challenging aspect of putting together Fool's Paradise Season 2?
Is that to me?
Both of you. Whoever would like to answer.
I'll let you go first.
I think the challenges is with all independence projects that we do, as long as you have the faith, you've got the skills, you've got the writing, you've got everything, that really pushes you through the hard times, because we're working with a really low budget. Thankfully, we got Nee in, who brought in an amazing behind the team crew for lighting, for sound. Like literally everybody that you brought on had so much heart, and we were really lucky to have professionals in the industry come on board this project and really lift it. And despite the sort of like, you know, scheduling, every filmmaker every filmmaker feels our pain when it comes to scheduling, getting everybody together. So I think that was the main challenge, but we really pushed through. We pushed through a lot.
Well, I would say for me personally, challenge-wise, I would say absolutely nothing. Reason being, this was like a golden opportunity for me. And I came in to find a production that was literally ready. Yeah, and that was very important. So all I had to do was put my director's hat on, get a crew on board that believed in it. There wasn't a lot of budget, but what it was that I've never experienced before was the commitment. So we had a lot of actors that had never acted before, but had committed to a summer-long, you know, series of workshops and actually getting the craft together. Sylvia was amazing. So Lila, so bizarrely, so I was speaking to someone, and Lila's also called Sylvia as well.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's really confusing.
Lila is a super producer. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, bless you.
The real Sylvia, she's you know, like she cuts across like several disciplines. Amazing actor herself, you know, amazing, you know, teacher, like brilliant, like brilliant writer. Something that I found particularly like touching with the writing of this was a lot of the content out there is purely about the mandem. Yeah. So guys being guys, like very macho, but we had a balance in this.
Yes.
Yeah. So like we do see like the street life, but then you see like the inner turmoil of the characters. You see the mother character, you see the baby mothers, you see girlfriends. Yeah. And then you sort of like just see a whole spectrum of that and the damage that the street life actually creates. Yeah. So I was speaking to someone and they said, "Oh, Sylvia's amazing." I said, "Oh, of course she is." But they actually meant this Sylvia. Yeah.
Not saying that you're not amazing as well, Sylvia.
They're both amazing, and honestly, I feel totally blessed by this.
Oh.
You know, but once we did get, once we got, you know, on set, we were filming just weekends pretty much, weren't we? Yeah, so so we're filming weekends, and I guess that dragged on for quite a while. So people had other commitments. And so to now start shedding that, I guess we had a few evenings we had to pick up on. Yeah, but it's great. You know, like I said, as far as challenges are concerned, absolutely nothing for me.
I just want to, just to end the interview, I just want to say it's been a fantastic experience with both of you, and obviously with Sylvia as well. You have given us so much knowledge and expertise that I'm sure every single actor has come away from this experience with something. So just a massive, massive thank you, and I can't wait for it to come out.
But definitely likewise as well, each and every person always is we're a family now,
Yeah,
isn't it?
family,
And
definitely.
we've got so much from each other. And honestly, for you, Rochelle, this is your first acting gig, and you've done so massively well.
I didn't even notice that, you know.
Right?
I didn't even
I
notice.
love that.
Honestly, you've done massively well. Like everyone that's came on new, that's joined the existing family, like everyone's gelled so much, and just crew-wise as well. Like it's been an absolutely amazing.
And I think
experience.
sometimes we don't always focus that much on the crew, but the crew did so much. The sound guys, the camera
Absolutely.
guys, you know, they
Absolutely.
worked really, really hard. And I know that you worked really hard and was kicking them up the butt. But yeah, just a massive thank you to everybody that was involved. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, so a bit of role reversal here. I just wanted to ask you a few questions because you're spending all this time asking all the actors, and you are the one that created and directed this entire web series. So kind of just want to understand, where did you get the idea from to do False Paradise?
Oh, that's a good question. Where I got the idea from, well, I was born and bred in Hackney. So I'm an East London girl, born and bred. Blup, blup, yeah. And I grew up on Sandringham Road, which was once upon a time a front line. And, you know, I grew up on an estate. It sounds so cliche, but that's what it was. And I was exposed to a lot growing up as a teenager. And, I saw a lot as a young girl. And I went through a lot as a young girl. And so that influenced my writing. Do you understand what I mean? And that is where False Paradise, some of the characters, or I shouldn't say characters, but that's where some of the storylines came from what I've seen growing up as a young person in Hackney.
So with the process, because obviously you've done season 1. So did you write season 1 and then write season 2 separately, or is there?
Season 1.
Okay.
I went drama school, by the way. So I went drama school. So I am from a creative background. I'm from a theatre background. So I went Central School of Speech and Drama. So I used to do a lot of theatre work, working with young inner city people, young kids. I've done youth work. I've done work in theatre and education in prison. So for me, what made me gear towards film was I saw the power of social media. And I could do a theatre production, which I've done in the past, and it's live, and then that's it. It's gone. Whereas if you're doing film, it's always there.
Yeah.
People can always go back and watch.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, that excited me, and I felt that was more like a powerful tool to explore. So with season 1, I wrote 3 episodes. And during that time when I wrote it, because I always write things and I never finish, never finish. So I finally finished something. I was going through a challenging time during that period when I started writing. And, you know, I'm a creative. And creativity for me is like therapy.
Yeah.
You know, so it doesn't matter what I'm going through in life. If I'm being creative, everything else falls back. You know, so
What you're putting your energy into, isn't it?
yeah. So then I wrote that, and I was like, Rash, I finished. Let's do this. I was so hyped. I phoned my brother up. I was excited. I finally finished a script, and he read it. He tweaked it. He was like, "Sil, this is sick. We can do this." And we started from there, you know. It was, for me, it was nothing, because I've done loads of productions before. I could do it in my sleep, do you understand? But the only difference was, it was film. So I had to find a filmmaker. I had to find, like, the camera world was a new playground for me. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I always look to God, and whatever I put out in the universe, sometimes it just gravitates to me, and that's how it was born, basically.
That's a really nice story, and I think what's interesting as well is you're very self-sufficient. So everything that you've put into False Paradise has come from you, and you know, just talk about that, because there's going to be people that's watching this now and want to kind of follow in your footsteps and don't know how to go about it. So how did you get to where you are now? And
But for me, once the script was done, the foundation was laid. So I had a reading, because I've got a lot of creators in the industry. So I set up a reading with my creative peers, and we all read the script, and they said, Sylvia, oh, this is really good, but I would tweak this. They challenged me, so I went away and tweaked it a little bit more. And then it was about finding a director stroke filmmaker, which I did, and he presented, you know, like, I will be able to do this, this and this for you, and deliver your vision, kind of thing. And that's how it started. So the next step for me was to find my actors, you know, and that was a real personal journey for me, because if you're thinking about sharing a story, you want actors that can represent your story as true to how you vision it in my, how I vision it in my mind, how I see it. So that's when the journey of casting the actors took place. You know, bearing in mind season 1 was the first project, and there was a lot of mistakes and a lot of lessons learned with season 1, but it was necessary in order for me to be where I am.
Could you share any of those lessons? Is there any lesson you could mention?
All right, so the key lessons that I learned is, like, I kind of left the filming process to the filmmakers.
Right.
I didn't
check in on them.
I didn't check in.
Because you thought that they knew what they were doing.
I thought that they knew what they was doing, number one. Number two, it was all new to me, so I didn't know how it went. Do you understand what I'm saying? So with season 1, they fucked up with my visuals. Like, it was supposed to be 1080, they rendered it on 480. So the visual weren't how it was supposed to be. And then just minor little mistakes, other little bits and pieces, lessons learned, you know, like transitioning to the next scenes, and, you know, but again, I learned. Yeah. I learned through that process, and, you know, it's a shame that happened with season 1, but at the end of the day, like, most of my peers told me, Sylvia, it's always like that. You see, when you start out, you're gonna make mistakes. It's never gonna be perfect, X, Y, Z. Do you know what I mean? So that was it. That's what it was. So I took it for what it was. As much as it felt like a loss, I took it as a learning process. And the beautiful thing about season 1, you know, God's so good, I managed to get it up on Link Up TV. So it was showcased on Link Up TV. And
still got all the views.
And then it got really good views. And that's what encouraged me the most, because even though a lot of the comments was towards the visual, the negative comments was about the visuals, the overall comments was like, rah, the story was good. Good, okay. You know, so that, for me, I'd done my job, you know.
So you know what you need to work towards.
To work towards. And then with season 2, I met up with this, you know, connected with this guy called Nee, who's got experience in filmmaking, and, you know, we clicked, we talked, we had meetings, and he liked what he saw, and it just worked. We just worked.
Just gelled, yeah.
Yeah, we just worked. So then I just went on the journey of casting my new actors, because it's, this time round, you know, from season 1 writing 3 episodes, season 2 was 7 episodes, plus it was a bigger cast. Yeah. You know, bigger production, you know.
It takes a big toll on you, doesn't it?
It was work. It was.
And you've got a full-time job on top of doing this as well.
I've got my full-time job that I have to do during the day, you know. But obviously this is my passion, so it doesn't feel like work, but it is work at the same time. So yeah, it just kind of fell into place, you know.
Yeah, it evolved, didn't it?
Yeah.
So where do you see, what's your next steps? What are you going to be doing in the future?
So my vision is, I'm looking to do a short film after this. After I do my short film, I want to do a movie. And that's the end goal.
Exciting.
The end goal is to do a movie.
Yeah.
You know, and that's for me. I enjoy films. I enjoy working with creatives. I feel like I've got an eye for talent, you know, and I feel like I'm a good storyteller. You know, I feel like I've got stories for days. But the beautiful thing about my short film that's going to be coming next in 2021 is it's going to be about relationships. We're not looking at road life and all that jazz. Do you know what I mean? Because I want to show people what I can do.
Yeah. That's going to be really interesting. We'll be watching out for that. So,
Yeah.
thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we've got an exclusive performance from Big Sick today. He is going to be performing the soundtrack to Fool's Paradise, Standards.
Yeah!
Little bro's getting sad, he's gonna be drive, but he's on crashing.
I swear I can't stand them, but that's standard. My clothes and my shoes are standing. Nothing on me ever looks standard. This right hand's got force, put you on the floor, right where you're standing. And I still got killers in Nam, but I still got booze and Brandon. And me and bro don't smoke, but we still got smoke, so you know why we brain them. Can't man ain't doing no fist fights, man, just bring out the hammers and bang them. And my flow when I box to the class, be in school, I only threw tantrums. But I guess nothing ain't changed, I just got a little change and a little more handsome. I only get love from the gal, but that's standard. Look, sure he's gonna get about 3 rounds, that's if I sip a little Henny or Magnum. You can't tell me about wars, car been going hard for the gang them. It was me and bro on the main rails, busting red light, trying to catch him and shank him. On the field style tackling and clamping. I ain't ramping, see this t-shirt come from Italy, but I got a German hand thing. Before I went chill, and caught me and mash, and know about banking. But niggas know me, you better SMP and do the transaction. I mean walking a brick like Jackson, got 100 cats on my Samsung. Everyday man gets paxing, and that's how a nigga gets waxing. You can't tell me about war, killers with raps, then I just rapped him. Had a rub in the backpack, you was doing snaps, I was doing trapping. Hit a snap back, no capping. 2 raps in the ride, man's on a glide, real niggas in fashion. Big Mac with fries, son's getting fried, man pressing with passion. Little bro getting size, he's gonna be drive, but he's on crashing. These niggas just lie, they don't wanna die, I swear I can't stand them. But that's standard, my clothes and my shoes are standing. Nothing on me ever looks standard. This right hand's got force, put you on the floor, right where you're standing. And I still got killers in Nam, but I still got booze and Brandon. And me and bro don't smoke, but we still got smoke, saying you know why we bring them. Can't man ain't doing no fist fights, man, just bring out the hammers and bang them. And my throw when I box to that class, beat in school, I only threw tantrums. But I guess nothing ain't changed, just got a little change and a little more handsome. I only get love from the gal and that's facts. I don't love man, that's facts. But for bro, I still pull up with wax. Let's still trap, come on, racks. Like all money, that's money, you fat. Got a big belly, that's ready for packs. Still big Kenny and Jenny and Sass. Still drink Henny, and I get cash. We don't lack, dogs do F, some do chat. Some sell veg, some sell crack. Get the bread, make it stack. Don't talk, what's the point? Check the boards, there's the points. 44s, there's the joints. There's the pigs, touch the oinks. Black trackies in trap mode. Man's trapping, that's Ali and Black Roads. That's Sally and Magic and Blastos. That's Cali and Nami and Nachos. All this food, got a nigga really feeling like Pablo. They rap about trap phones, they're just lying, I swear I can't stand them. But that's standard, my clothes and my shoes are standing. Nothing on me ever looks standard. This right hand's got force, put you on the floor, right where you're standing. And I still got killers in Nam, but I still got booze and Brandon. And me and bro don't smoke, but we still brought smoke, saying you know why we brand them. Oh man ain't doing no fist fights, man, just bringing out the hammers and bang them. I'm bro when I box to that class, beat in school, I only threw tantrums. But I guess nothing ain't changed, just got a little change and a little more handsome.
That was fun.
Knowing a few shot types and things like that. So we're going to start with
Behind you, this is Daniel. Hiya. Abs is finished with Rash.
Yeah.